What's new, 802? I'm Becca Hammond, and you're listening to Vermont Talks. Vermont Talks may include graphic or explicit content. Listener discretion is advised. Welcome to the 66th episode of Vermont Talks. I'm here at the Makery today with Arianna Soloway and business partner Jessica Webster. The Makery is a secondhand arts and crafts supply store and community art space at 388 Pine Street in Burlington, Vermont. It is a place where art supplies find new life and creativity flourishes through classes and camps. Welcome, Arianna, and welcome, Jessica. Or Jess. I'm not sure if you go by just Jess.
Either's fine.
This space is so cool.
Thanks so much.
Thank you for letting me come here to do the interview. I know it's always a little odd bringing someone in your space.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having us on your show.
So let's start off by talking a little bit about the building and where you're located.
Yes, so we are at 388 Pine Street. We're a little tucked back. I know some folks will be like, you're so hard to find. But if you come down the parking lot past Great Harvest Bakery and just keep heading back through the parking lot, you'll find us. Yeah, and we're really excited to find a space in the South End when we open because it's such like a great arts part of town, and really wanted to be where artists already are and where a lot of creative stuff is already happening.
Yes, you are very much in the little art hub because Generator is somewhere back here, right?
No, they're a little further down Pine Street.
Are they? Okay.
But there's a lot of art studios and different things.
That's the Glass Studios behind here, and Arts Riot used to be here. I forget what the new space is called, but I think of Arts Riot and Spirit Girls, and then you turn into this parking lot, and there's all of these creative things going on here.
Yeah, SIBO took over the Arts Riot place.
SIBO, yes.
Yes, and so they're rolling out art events, which has been cool.
Yeah. It's so nice that you have a parking lot with some parking spaces.
Yeah.
I know it gets busy here especially when the farmers market starts up in the summer, but I think it's actually pretty easy to find when you know what the art district section. Yeah. So very cool space. And how big is this area?
Like the
square footage. I should have said square
footage.
Our space. Because
Oh,
it's huge. It's bigger than I expected.
It's I guess it's just shy of 3,000 square feet. So a good chunk of it is the classroom space, and then the store itself, I would say, is just a hair under 2,000 square feet.
Very cool. Very cool. Okay, so there's a million things going on in this space, and I saw online you have a great website, themakeryvt.com, where you're listing different classes you have a sewing class that you're doing soon. I saw there was crochet listed, maybe knitting too. And you have so many art supplies. So let's talk about the vision. How did you decide you're going to make this space? And what was the original, this needs to be a thing today?
Yeah. So I guess it started maybe 3, almost 4 years ago at this point, that I read an article about the existence of other stores like this in other places, a lot of times referred to as creative reuse centers. And so it just started with that. And I was like, how is this a thing that I didn't know about as a person who does so many crafts and loves to thrift shop? And then that just sort of mulled around in my head, this sort of why don't we have one of those here? And then eventually that sort of turned into I need to start one of those. And I don't know exactly when that changed, but somewhere along the way, I realized that I was it went from being I wish somebody else would start one to be oh my God, someone's going to start one before I do. And then, so all that was kind of just mulling over in my brain over a lot of time. And I was at the time working at Must Love Yarn in Shelburne. And so I was sort of involved in the craft retail world and just sort of, just kind of figuring out what all this looked like. And
happened pretty quick.
Yeah, it was sort of very, very slowly and then all at once.
Yeah.
And then it was sort of I'm going to start looking for some spaces. I was working with a business coach through the SBDC, the Small Business Development Center. I was sort of I'll check out some spaces and get a sense of what rent is. And then this space came available and they basically wanted to rent it to us immediately. And in the course of all of this, so Jess is actually originally an old friend of my husband's.
We went to college together. And when they moved back here from Chicago, I would just periodically run into Justin in the community, and he would say, that's Arianna's husband. He would be like, you have to meet my wife. I think you guys would get along.
Yeah, and he'd be always like, you have meet my old friend Jess. She does crafty things too. And, and we were like, okay, yeah, one day we'll meet or whatever.
And then we finally coordinated it around the time that Arianna was looking for, just being like, I'm just going to look at spaces. We got coffee. And then like a week later, Arianna was like, I got a place and I'm opening the store in November. Will you come help me with fabric?
Yeah. And the rest is history.
And now we spend, 40 hours a week together and craft.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. So that's kind of basically how it came to be.
It's such a really creative. I know you said that this exists elsewhere. I've never heard of this kind of thing where it's
they're
store
all over the country.
Yeah, but they're like kind of
different.
They're kind of hidden. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're all very different, which is cool. I've started like visiting them anytime I'm traveling somewhere, and they all feel so different.
Yeah, because you sell materials. I'm trying to wrap my head because I know you do the classes and you take donations.
Yeah, and then so most of the business is just we're a thrift store, but all we take is art supplies. And then we also with the supplies that we come in, we do the classes, and so all the supplies we use in our classes are also from folks' donations.
And the only the only inventory that we source is glue. So everything else that's for sale in the store is donation only. And what we were finding is we would get glue, but it would be kind of crusty.
Yeah. And we would rarely get any because you need it for every project. And so we were like, this is silly. You can get 90% of what you need here, but then you have to still go somewhere else and buy your glue stick. And so we started sourcing that wholesale. But everything else that we have in the store is secondhand, donated by folks in the community.
That makes such sense though, because glue goes bad.
Yeah, right.
Even a year later, I'm like, what's wrong with my glue?
Exactly. So we just were like, we just need to have that for people so that they can get everything they need for a project here. And so it's donation for store credit. So when people bring stuff in, they get some money to spend on future projects or to apply to a class.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
So the amount of stuff, I was like I said, I was not expecting the space to be as big as it is. I opened that door. Whoa.
I mean, I don't think we were expecting to get nearly as much donations.
Yeah.
When we first opened, we did donations at any time. And then that quickly turned into donations for just the
one
first
week of the month.
Yes. Yeah. And then I think we hit a wall in December of this past year where we were like, we have to figure this out.
It was so much stuff. And I think the donations the first week of the month worked for a while until everybody figured out that that's what we were doing. And then they just saved it up. And then we got a whole month's worth of donations in 1 week. And then we were just totally overwhelmed again.
I think we had a month where that week we got
it was over 150 donations.
Wow.
And we were like, okay, we need to spread the flow out. And so now we do donation by appointment, which is really lovely. It lets us sort through things and
be more thorough and know how much stuff is coming over time, which has been really great.
It's a huge amount of work. It's wonderful to take donations, but when you end up with a huge pile, that means you have to sort it all. You have to figure out is this actually usable stuff?
Right. It's time consuming to really get everything sorted the way it needs to be in a way that makes it usable to people and
right, because it's staying here. I think that's something really important to kind of call out.
Yeah.
Donating is always good. The amount of Goodwill places, they throw everything on a pallet and they send it to Boston. So it's not staying in the community.
Right.
It's nice when you actually know that it's going to go to someone in Burlington.
Right.
Your neighbor's actually going to use this.
Exactly. Yeah. Everything we get here stays here, except for the occasional things that aren't actually an art supply that we get. And then we do pass those on to other thrift stores. But anything that is an art supply stays here.
That's fantastic because I personally am also a crafty person and I've had way too many crafty projects. What was I thinking? I bought 6 million things for a project that I immediately was not into.
You get excited.
Yeah, you get excited. Yeah. You're like, yes, I'm going to crochet a blanket. And then you don't do it.
Yeah, I think that for me was part of why I wanted it to be a donation for store credit model is because I feel as crafters, we are a little obsessed with trying new things and also with hoarding things once we try them.
Yes.
And so what I really wanted was to try to foster more of a this isn't suiting me anymore. I was going to crochet a blanket, but I did 2 rows and now I have 10 balls of yarn and nothing to do with them. But now I'm obsessed with embroidery. Yes. So I'm going to bring my 10 balls of yarn in here and I'm going to get some money and then I'm going to put it towards my new obsession. And so that was just like really important to me as a person who has done that more times than I can count in my life.
I mean, that's part of being a craft.
Yeah.
We collect things and, you try things and you figure out what you want.
Yeah. And I want people to try things. Like that's so important. And
that's been fun to watch. So like we have people that come in who are learning a new craft, who have maybe just knit, and then they take Arianna's crochet class because they want to delve into that and see if they like it, or they take one of my sewing classes. And so we have been able to foster a really nice sense of community, which I think is important for both Arianna and I through like, we have a monthly bring your own craft night that is the first Thursday of every month, and folks come. And then we have regulars that come and
bring whatever they're working on, and
we get to see their projects that they're working on. And I love asking people like, what are you going to do? And it's funny because sometimes people will be like, I just bought it because I liked it. And they're like embarrassed to say that. And I'm like, do you know how many times I've bought fabric because I like it? Like, that's okay. You don't have to have a project. But if you're doing a project, I want to know all about it. I want you to tell me about it.
And I love when it's like not a thing you expect either. Like, they have a pile of things and you're like, I don't know what's happening here. And then they tell you this incredible vision. And you're like, oh my God, that's going to like, all these things are going to become that.
Yeah. And we have people that like, now they'll come back and they'll like show us. They'll be like, look at the blanket that I made with the scraps I got here. Or, look at my decoupage hat or my fairy house. And
someone just came in yesterday. They live in Montpelier, so they don't get up here very often. And they were like, showing me their Halloween costume they had made, that they had bought some stuff here. And they were like, I've been trying to get back up here to show you this costume for months. And they were like, finally back in town.
Yeah.
It was great.
That's awesome. That's a great idea. I know a lot of people. I'm actually going to go over to the Science Expo, Sci-Fi Expo. My friend Dan makes masks and does all of these things.
Sweet.
There's so many people in Vermont who are making cool stuff.
Yeah.
This is such a cool space for that, because I think a lot of us crafty people, I throw myself in money pits so often. I'm going to buy $500 worth of things for my new hobby that's going to be my whole life forever. A month and a half later, why did I do that?
Right.
Like,
then you bring it to us, and then you get money to spend $500 on a new craft.
That's a really wonderful idea. That really, not only is it great for the environment, good for the community, but it's really smart just from the mindset of crafty people.
Yeah, because we're all like that. We're all hoarders, and we're all always trying something new and thinking it's going to be the next thing we're going to do forever. And
I'm always thinking that this is going to be my hobby for life. And it just ends up being something that I have piles of. That's that embarrassment of like, why did I do this? Like,
I get that too. That is like this guilt of like, oh my God, I spent all this money, or like, I want to try this new hobby, but I don't want to spend all the money on it, or I don't want to end up with yet another heap of things that like I'm going to feel embarrassed about. And I
get
want
such
to like
hobby guilt from that. The pile of stuff, and then I go, oh, I want to paint. And then I feel guilty about being like, no, I shouldn't switch hobbies right now. I should do the thing.
Right. But the thing's not speaking to you anymore. Like, and so I want people to just be able to switch whatever they want to the new thing that's speaking to them.
Without that guilt.
Right. Yeah. Just like indulge all your ADHD without any guilt, and just like try something new.
Perfect. I love so there's you called this the store area.
Yeah.
Which has all of the stuff.
Yep.
And you seem to have different sections. I can see the book nook and office supplies.
We put a lot of effort into organizing.
It's an ongoing job.
It's an ongoing thing. I think we have people that come in, they're like, I was just here a couple of months ago and it looks so different. And I'm like, yes, because I hyperfixated on one area to organize. And even like the store has evolved so much in the year and a half that we were open. Like originally we were renting the classroom space to another business for storage. And so all of our stuff, like we were only really using half of the store when we started.
Yeah, and then our classroom was like in the back of the store, and then we like got this space and reconfigured everything. And and we are always moving things around and reorganizing.
I really love that we have the classroom space.
Yes, it's been
a little bit of separation.
Yeah,
it gives you something about wide open tables. Just feels like you should start something.
Yeah, it's really nice to have just a space where it's like this isn't the store, this isn't work, this isn't sorting and all the things. This is just like we just like we save things in here for classes we want to do, and there are supplies in here for that, and it's just here.
Yeah.
So cool. Okay, so you want to talk a little bit more about this store? And this could just be a list.
Sure,
We don't have
yeah.
to get into every single thing, but like, what can you find here if you're a crafter in this area just looking for stuff?
Yeah. So, I mean, kind of like just going through the store by section, I guess. There's yarn stuff up front. So any kind of like knitting, crocheting, weaving, supplies. Sometimes
spinning.
Yeah, sometimes spinning stuff. Sometimes rug hooking stuff. Yeah, I think that's kind of that section.
And then we have a like kind of a kit area where when beginner kits. They're not always beginner kits, but just like
all sorts of kits
for different crafts and like
kids craft kits.
That's a lot of fun. We do have like a kids section. We have a decor section that has flowers and miniatures.
Yeah, like tiny dollhouse things,
gems,
and then like scrapbooking stuff, paper and punches and washi tape and scrapbooks themselves,
stamps for days.
So many stamps. Yeah.
Fabric patterns.
Yeah, sewing patterns, quilting patterns, all sorts of like
that's really nice.
Sewing notions. Yeah, like thread and needles and Velcro and elastic, all of that. Kind of just like working my way around the store mentally in a circle.
We have
and then like jewelry stuff, like beads and wire and like clasps and charms and all of that.
Buttons for days.
So many buttons.
Many buttons. Buttons are a thing that we never need to make another one.
No one ever needs to manufacture a button ever again.
That is so accurate. Because I feel like every family has like a gallon of buttons.
And we get them. We get the tins
just
of
like
buttons.
the huge bag.
Yes.
Arianna
loves to sort them. I hate that task.
You do love to sort them.
And that's also something that's been like funny in the shop is that we like very much complement each other in the things that we want to sort and don't want to sort. And
I feel like there are things both of us love sorting that the other just can't stand doing.
Yeah.
So we're like, I found a box of buttons. Here you go. And I'm like, woohoo.
And we'll be like, here's the fabric. And I'm like, all right, gonna go measure this for days. We have tons of fabric, quilting fabric, garment fabric.
Yeah. So,
upholstery.
I don't know if we specifically said that in all the sewing stuff, but
we've got
so much fabric.
People really love our like by the pound racks.
Yeah. So anytime we get like small kind of like scrap pieces, anything less than a quarter yard, it goes in there and you can buy fabric by the pound. And people love that for like quilting or applique or just when you need like a little pop of something.
Touches.
Like those the rugs that you tie together.
Yeah.
Scraps of fabric. Yeah, that's awesome. That's so cool. And that's it. I think everyone's hurting. Everyone who loved Joann's is just kind of lost right now.
But we have so many lovely options. Like, specifically for like sewists, if they can't find something here, like Robin is the one who owns Stash Fabric and the Soda Plant. So we like send people to other places,
which is great. And they're just down the street from us. So I love that we can like, send people back and forth.
We do try to do that. Like if someone comes in for a specific hobby and they're like, right now you don't have anything because it wasn't donated. Like Arianna and I are really good about being like, here are all the local businesses that you can go, because I really think like part of being community based also is like, how do we support each other?
Absolutely.
And how do we like let people know that like these things do exist in our community? Like we actually have a lot of really wonderful.
Just got to dig a little more for them, and
they're
here. Yeah, the digging a little more. There's something to be said about just sharing that information.
Yeah, and we love to be able to do that because we don't we have a ton of stuff, but we don't always have every exact specific thing because our inventory just changes constantly. So if you're like, I need exactly this, it's great for us to be able to like send them
you
don't have to order that from Amazon. You can still get it in town even if you can't get it from us.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of it. When you're someone, so I'm from rural Vermont. I grew up out near the Canadian border, and when you Google craft supplies, it heavily pushes things like Michael's, Joann's, like and then you think that you can't get it locally because you'll scroll and you'll go, oh, I'm not seeing it. But that's it. It's hard for the smaller local businesses. And there are so many cool little artsy shops in Burlington.
Yeah.
You can't compete on every keyword. Like you're going to end up spending $50,000 a year trying to get marketing. And then that probably doesn't result in like massive sales in Burlington.
So as much as we can send people to like all those other places and like just build that.
Yeah. That is fun. People are sometimes like surprised. Why do we do that? And I'm like, but
Like, why wouldn't we?
I'm not gonna like gatekeep art supplies for you. Like,
Yeah, like if we don't have it, I still want you to find it today.
Yeah, like, I want you to be able to go to the local art store on Church Street, or, you know, go up on Shelburne Road to the art store. Like, and this is also, you know, I think one thing when you are trying a new craft too is that you get hung up on either like, do you get the nice supplies that call to you? Do you spend that? And this is like a place where like you can do that and not break the bank. And also, I'm a firm believer in like, I don't care if you're a beginner sewist or an expert, like use the nice supplies that you invested in.
You'll like it more.
You'll
have more fun if you love what you're working with.
But that's a journey everybody goes on. You know, I remember when that's like my primary thing is garment sewing. And when I first started, I had like fabric that felt precious. And it is precious fabric. But once I got over that fear and was just like, I'm just going to make it. It was so much more enjoyable. Yeah. And so like, this is like an opportunity, I think, also for people to be like, oh, I can like dip my toe in that and use and invest in some supplies. And I don't necessarily have to like get the cheapest option because I'm starting, if that makes sense.
No, that's definitely, because especially if you're into crafting, that's where I get burned. I'm like, oh, I'm going to buy something nice.
Yes.
And then I'm like, wow, why did I do this? By the time the delivery goes through, 2 weeks later, I've got the thing and I'm just sitting there like, now what do I do? Yeah, there's definitely the back and forth. Talk about the benefit of having the local community and feeling the fabric. Because buying it online, you don't know what you're
feeling the yarn. Or even just like being able to like touch paper and those different pieces
so many
if you're
things
getting used to learning. And so
even stuff like the stamps, if you can just like hold it in your hand and look at it versus looking at a picture online.
Right. Like, you know exactly how big it is, you know, how detailed, like it's fun.
Yeah. There's really something to that. The tactile. I love this. This is so cool. The community idea. I love when the little businesses are supportive of each other. There's no reason not to be. What did we do? I always think about like pre-internet. I was born after the internet existed. But like, what did people do in 1975 when they wanted to make a quilt?
Right.
They talked to their neighbors. They'd say, oh, where did you get this?
Yeah.
What a shocking concept.
Right. Like, and I love that we can bring that back a little.
Yeah, definitely. That's awesome. Okay. So talked about the store. Yeah. How big? 15 people? I'm guessing. How many people can you have in a class?
Typically, it depends on the class, but 15 is the maximum we really have in any class. The sewing classes are usually a lot smaller because we have a limited number of sewing machines here. Right. And those are kind of more time intensive and things. So those usually are like 4 to 6 people, depending on the
activity. Yeah. 4 to 6 people. And also part of that is just like instructor to person ratio. It's
you
like
need more,
anything
like,
longer than that or any group bigger than that is like a little bit trickier.
Yeah, with everybody on separate sewing machines and doing their thing.
Yeah, versus if we do like intro to granny squares, it's a little bit easier to have, 8 to 10 people in that class.
Right. Yeah. So typically, I'd say like a lot of the knitting and crocheting type classes are somewhere in the range of 10 people. And then we do about once a month, we do a class we call Craft and Sip, which is just like a real casual, like we come up with a craft idea and have all the supplies. And it's a very like,
bring your snacks.
Bring your snacks, bring a drink. It's like a very user-friendly sort of craft. It doesn't involve any special skills. It's just a chance to like come hang out and socialize and like come for a date night, bring your friends, bring your mom, like whatever you're doing.
For that, or like last month we did. Or we did month. We did bag charms, and then we've done like make your own dryer felt ball or
so it's something that's like very like it's a very introductory sort of craft. Anyone can do it, whether they feel like they're a crafty person or not.
You can do it in an hour.
And those classes we typically do up to 15 people because it is just more about socializing and less about like real like instructor student.
I love the make your own dryer ball. That's what
the needle felting.
We've done that a couple times because
it's been so popular
that
and people
so satisfying.
It is
sit there and stab it.
Yeah, people love that. They're like, this is so cathartic. I just want to do this all the time. So yeah, I think we'll probably do that one again at some point soon too, because it's just filled like,
people get.
Oh yeah, that's the fun part too. I feel like the first Storybill ever makes is kind of just like, they make a little like spiral on it, or they put a little shape, and then suddenly they like, the second ones are wild. Like,
yeah, somebody made like a Pokemon ball. Another person made these like beautiful coordinating floral ones, and
one person made an eyeball that was like super realistic with like the veins and everything.
Yeah.
And then one girl made a hedgehog, and then her boyfriend made Sonic the Hedgehog, and they were like the most amazing Storybills. I'm still obsessed with those.
And that's like the fun thing about Craft and Sip too, is like sometimes people are coming to it on a date. Sometimes people are coming to it with like their work friends and trying to decompress. So
yeah. Sometimes people are coming to just like meet new folks. They come by themselves and are just like, I just moved to town a few months ago and here I am. And,
that's
and I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, I love this idea. I love the kind of casual, like, don't get me wrong, I love serious, like, sewing garments is so cool to me.
But sometimes you just
it's like two different vibes,
you know, like there will frequently be a Friday afternoon where Arianna and I will hit a wall where we'll be like, what craft can we do?
We'll be like, I can't sort another piece of fabric. We just need to like hot glue some stuff. And I feel like that's sometimes where Craft and Sip ideas come from. We're like, I saw this Instagram video of this thing, let's do it. And then we're like, that was really fun, let's do it with everybody.
For sure. There's something you said about the kind of hobby that you can like sit on the couch and just kind of like
zone out.
Right. You can check out, you can do it, and you still end up with something cool at the end. That's so satisfying and fun for people getting into this sort of thing. Because a lot of people, when you're like, oh, I'm going to make a dress, they're immediately like, oh God, that sounds so hard.
Sometimes you just take a palette cleanser activity.
Exactly.
So yes, next month our Craft and Sip is actually these like fabric covered storage boxes.
This is just a cardboard box.
It's a cardboard box with like cool fabric and ribbon and stuff all glued onto it, and then it becomes a nice little storage box.
Right, it's something much prettier to put your stuff in, and you're recycling.
Right, exactly.
Win-win.
Yeah. So so it's always kind of stuff like that. Just
and the other thing for all of our classes, you know, kind of the way part of us coming up with classes too is like, what do we have enough of in the store? So all of our classes, we use supplies that are in store. And the beautiful part about that is we're able to make our classes super affordable.
Right. Because there's no materials cost to us really. And you don't have to bring your own materials. And so that's been really, really satisfying.
It definitely breaks the barrier for somebody. You know, I've done some sewing classes and people have then gone on, I think, to feel like, oh, I can invest a little bit more into some of the sewing classes elsewhere because now I've made a thing and I feel confident and I can go take that garment sewing class that I've been looking at, but maybe like we're afraid to splurge on in the community. So again, it's like eliminating barriers to access is a cool thing. And then it does funnel people, I think, into the community to go do other stuff because we have a lot of folks that will come here and then take classes. Yeah, it can be hard to try a new hobby or like to take a class in a new hobby when it's going to be like, oh, here's like, it's a couple $100 and I'm going to meet for many weeks. And I'm like, I don't know even know if I'm going to like this thing.
Yes.
And I think our most popular classes have been like a lot of our intro classes that are like 2 hours on one night and they're like very inexpensive. And they're just like, I just wanted to try this and maybe I'll like it. And for $20, you can take that risk. And then you're like, oh, I did like this. Now I want to like go on and then we see them come back in the store. Yeah. And then they're like, oh, I checked out that other local store that you told me about. And like, you know, here's my sweater that I made, or here's my bag that I sewed. And
it's awesome. Especially something like the sewing machine. I love sewing and I have made some of my own clothes. Even someone who's used a sewing machine, I think about like getting back into it. I'm like, oh my God, I don't remember. And every machine's slightly different. And you just kind of feel like a little clunky and a little scared. You're going to stab yourself or something or just break the machine is another real like, I don't want to invest in this because I feel like I'm not good enough. So that barrier to entry and getting them over the hump is really, really nice.
And I started offering a couple months ago sewing one-on-ones. And so most of the folks that have come through and taken advantage of that service through our store, they're like, I haven't used this sewing machine before. Can you sit with me and show me the different parts? And some things are transferable, but I think just being able to like get comfortable of the different settings, that's like what most people have taken advantage of that service for, to be like, here's my sewing machine. Can you sit with me so I feel comfortable?
Yeah. And it's the same for a lot, especially fabric hobbies, anything with textiles, because like crocheting, it's so easy if you're, I'm going to teach myself how to crochet. It's so easy to go the wrong way or something. And then you're upset about it and you don't know what you did wrong. And you don't know what you did wrong
and you don't have anyone to ask. Yeah.
It's definitely nice if you have some hands-on, like, this stitch. Because I've watched so many crocheting videos on the internet. It's so hard to tell what stitch they're talking about. They're always like, this stitch. And I'm like, which stitch?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just feel like videos and stuff are great for like refreshing your memory on stuff, or like once you're at like an intermediate level, teaching yourself some like little new technique. But they're so hard as a beginner to just, when you're like, I don't even know what this is supposed to look like, and like, but now I think it's wrong, but I don't know why. And
and then you get frustrated and you put it down.
We don't want people to do
maybe
that.
I'm not good enough to do this. And it's not your fault. It's the fact that you're trying to learn off a TikTok video.
Yeah, I just don't know.
There is a benefit to having somebody sit next to you and go through that.
Yeah, which is super nice. This is such a nice community space. I really love the classroom area. It's very, it's very welcoming. It doesn't feel like you have to meet some like metric to be an artist and come here, which is nice.
It's very chill.
Okay, so we were talking about a bunch of different. Okay, can we kind of run through? We know about the sewing classes. I really like the dryer ball. That's really awesome. What other classes have you offered or are hoping to offer?
Jess mainly does sewing classes. I do like knitting and crocheting classes. I've done some intro to weaving. And then we've also done some visible mending classes, like different techniques.
We're gonna do intro to hand stitching.
Oh yeah, that's actually, I'm really excited about that coming up. We're doing the absolute basics of hand sewing. Like if you've never picked up a needle before ever and you're just like not sure where to start, is going to be just like, we'll teach you to thread a needle, we'll teach you to tie a knot, like whatever you need to know to get you sewing. I'm excited that we're going to be doing that next month. And then with the visible mending classes, I teach some of those. I've taught a couple different methods of like some specifically for like mending knitwear, some for different techniques. And then we have someone who teaches some like more traditional kind of visible mending techniques, like sashiko style stitching and like kind of patching with fabric and things like that. And she's going to be back sometime this summer teaching another round of her classes. We work with somebody who teaches embroidery classes, which have been really popular and super fun.
She makes beautiful embroidery.
Yeah.
And
beautiful embroidery.
The woman who does the mending does beautiful mending. Stuff,
and that's kind of our main stuff right now. I think it's just been like, so Jess and I teach a lot of them, but as we meet folks who sort of feel like the right fit, we've brought in a couple other people and tried out some different things and just kind of slowly building it up and seeing what works.
And Arianna does a after school series during the year, which is actually one more rotation of it and then a pause for the summer.
So we do it as ages 6 to 10, like a kids class. We do in like 6-week sessions, so they come for an hour and
that's a lot of fun.
We do various things, and then we also do a class for littler kids, ages 2 to 5, called Mini Makers, which is the first Saturday of the month. Also, there's one more of those before we take a break for the summer. And that's just kind of a like craft free for all. We set up a bunch of different stations. So there'll be like, Play-Doh and collage stuff and paints and beads and just like all different sort of activities. And kids just come and like move around to different stations and play with whatever they want to do.
A ball.
It's super fun. Yeah.
Oh, it's so cool. Well, that's kind of what it feels like in here. It reminds me of the better art classes. I remember when I was a kid, like, there's so much to look at. And someone like me, I just want to go like look at everything and touch it. That very exciting moment of like, oh my God, I can actually touch the stuff in here. When you're a kid, that's so exciting.
Yeah. We just wanted to feel like inspiring. Like, I don't know. I feel like that's the goal of everything, is just to feel like you could come in here and make something, even if you don't necessarily know exactly what it is. Just, Yeah, and
I think like, I don't know, Arianna and I, part of why we have this space is like, we're both kind of little trash crafty gremlins. Like we collect things. Both of us do a multitude of hobbies, and we get excited about that. We want to talk to people about those things, and we want it to be a space that like feels warm and inviting.
Yeah. Like you can just come here and be a little craft gremlin too.
Yeah. Like, I traveled and I went into a craft store that was very curated because every time I go travel, I go find the local yarn store or the local garment store. And everybody's had that experience where they go in, they're new to a hobby, they go into the store and it doesn't feel like they belong there or like it's welcoming or it feels intimidating to like go and look at yarn when you don't know anything about yarn or you're just learning. And so we really didn't want that for our space. And I think we're lucky that we live in a community where like that's not the case. Right? Yeah. Like all of the stores around here are very welcoming, to be clear. Yes, this was like, I was traveling and I went in.
But I feel like we've all at some point in life had that experience with a store that is not so welcoming.
And so, that we keep that in mind when we're like organizing events and when we are organizing our space, because like I want people to come in and feel like they can touch the fabric and touch the yarn and I don't want people to feel like, oh, I shouldn't be here. I don't belong here. So.
And I'd love for like people to bring their kids and I feel like that's one of my favorite things is when they could just, run around in here and pick up random stuff. And
we do have regulars that come in and they're like, here's your like $5 that you can spend at the Makery. And the kids are like, yeah.
And they like, just go wild. Like there are very few places where $5 gets you much these days. Yeah. Like they'll go around and they'll be like, they'll pick out 20 buttons for $1 and they'll pick out some like those little like marbles and like Mancala bead kind of gems. And I don't know, like
they're little treasures.
Yeah. They just like, they come here for their little treasures. And I love that.
Yeah. We're also, I had this idea last month that we're going to be doing the event in May, a me-made clothing swap. So if you are somebody who upcycles clothing, if you have, sewn stuff from scratch or knit or block printed, really like any wearable garment that you've made that you're like, this doesn't speak to me or this doesn't fit me. I was going through my summer clothes because it's that time of year where, we're hoping for the warm weather. And I realized like I have all these really beautiful things that I've made that don't fit me or that just don't speak to me. And so we're doing a me-made clothing swap and I'm really excited about that. Because I think as makers, we all have things that we're like,
and we don't just want to donate them to like Goodwill or somewhere. You don't know what's going to happen to them. You want them to go to someone who is also a maker, someone who's going to appreciate those things. And so I'm very excited to be able to like find like to rehome those items to someone who's really going to like get joy out of them and appreciate them for what they are and not just be like, whoa, found this thing at the thrift store for $2 that didn't have any tags on it. That's funny. You'd be like, no, somebody made that like with their hands, like right here in town. And I just,
Yeah. So that we're looking forward to that.
Super excited.
It's going to be on the 24th of May.
Nice. Next month. Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. I really like this space. This is such a great idea.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where we're at with time, but
we got a few minutes before we got to.
Yeah, you guys are going to open the store very soon, so we're going to wrap it up. Okay, is there anything, the donating, because you already kind of mentioned that it's only, it's by appointment only.
Yes, so the appointments come up on our website. They open on a rolling basis. They are limited, so there are not always appointments available, but if there are not when you look, there will be more very soon, so like keep checking back.
The best time to check is when we're open. During our open hours, because that's when the
system like automatically updates during the hours that we are open. Yeah. But yeah, so you make an appointment there. Once you've got an appointment, you can come anytime on your appointment day. That just helps us regulate how many people are coming per day. You don't have to come at the exact moment of your appointment time. And then there's a list on our website of all of the things we do and don't take. Yep. Once you've got an appointment, you can bring as much stuff as you've got.
Which is great. But yes, definitely check and don't bring stuff that's on the list of like, please don't bring that.
Yeah. Yes. Mainly I would say like the things people try to bring us often that we don't take are like household textile items like sheets or curtains or things like that, which people like do upcycle, which is awesome, but like those can go through a regular thrift store.
Yeah. And people will try to bring us like, I have collected all of these toilet paper rolls and corks and like, I do understand that can be an art supply.
You can make them into art, but like That's a slippery slope of anything could be an art supply.
We're not, we've been really intentional of like, I want an art supply.
Yeah.
And, you know, I appreciate you wanting to save your cardboard and make it into something new, but like that is a recyclable.
Yeah.
And
so
and
generally
it's
that's
just
it. It's
too
like,
much stuff. That's it. You guys could have 5,000 paper towel
exactly.
rolls.
So for the most part, it's like household items and recyclables are the things we get most often that we have to send back to people.
Yes. And there's textile recycling programs, right, around here. Or I've heard about them. I've never actually seen them.
There aren't any locally. They do exist in like a mailing stuff in kind of way. I don't know a lot of information about them. We've been trying to look into this a lot. I won't go on like a whole tangent about this, but the short version is I feel like there is very little information about what those people are actually doing with your stuff once they get it. And I don't want to be like a conspiracy theorist about it, but it makes me nervous to be like, I want to actually know where this stuff is going. And I know that there are some places that are very specific and intentional about what they're doing with the stuff they're recycling, but they unfortunately are not based here.
Right. And that's not what you were doing.
Yeah.
Like, you guys are not ripping apart old sweaters.
Right, right. We have talked to some other local folks who are sort of like tangentially involved in this.
in upcycling.
Yeah, in upcycling and things like that. And we're hoping to continue talking to them about whether there's some way that we can all band together to create some sort of textile recycling where we could take like, you know, ripped up old clothes and things like that. But that is we're not there yet. That's a future thing that that's part of the future dreams of what this could be. That we could continue to like get involved in textile recycling and like how to actually do that in a more transparent and again, like locally based way.
Right.
But yeah, hopefully we'll have news about that eventually. But right now that's very much sort of just a like, it's a dream of stuff we'd like to do, but we don't have any actual like specific plans about that at the moment.
Which is totally fair.
Yeah.
So like if you've got skeins of yarn, you're not using, if you've got like actual fabric bolts, I don't know what your limit is on fabric donations.
No, it's any size is, we don't take like little scrap offcuts.
Right.
But,
not like a 6-inch piece. Maybe,
but otherwise like quarter yards are more generally
or. And in terms of like scraps, if you had scraps that were I would say at least like 5 by 5, you can donate those. We just will automatically put them in the scrap bin and we don't give people credit for them. But like the really, really tiny bits that like
the little squiggly bit you cut off the edge of a thing, we don't like, we're not going to take that.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
but if it's a useful size piece, we try to take as much as we can and people do really love the small pieces and the scraps and stuff.
Yeah.
Or if you bought an entire hobby worth of a huge amount of stuff
Yep.
that you now no longer have any interest in doing.
Or if you're cleaning out like a family member's house, like we get a lot of, people who are like, this was my aunt's or my grandma's and I have all this stuff and I want it to like go somewhere and be usable because it was loved and stored lovingly and
Right. Yeah. Awesome. Okay. So I think we covered, is there anything that we didn't cover that you guys want to talk about real quick?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Like our classes are always developing. And, I think a lot of people don't realize this, but like, this is just Arianna and I.
Yep.
We are a small but mighty team of 2 and we are intentional about that. We like that aspect of our business. Yeah. But I think sometimes people who are new to our business think that there are a huge team of us.
There's a huge amount of stuff.
Yeah.
There is.
Because I was expecting something a lot smaller, knowing it was just wow, this is huge. The space is huge. The classroom is huge. Yeah. It's really nice.
Yeah.
It is manageable for the 2 of us and we do a good job and we love it very much. But I think in general, people are lovely and wonderful and patient with us and understand it. Yeah. But I think it's just
always
worth
the 2 of us just figuring out what's next.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. And you had mentioned you called it Bring Your Own Craft night. I love that idea. That's really cool.
It's so fun.
It is really fun.
We have people who we had someone bring their spinning wheel last month. We have people who are sewing, knitting.
Yeah, like hand quilting,
origami,
embroidering.
Literally like anything.
Yeah. sometimes people have just brought like a sketchbook and doodled and like
or colored.
Yeah.
A coloring book and colored. Like
I just want to hang out with
people
while you're making something.
anything that's portable, like anything goes.
And that will be our next one is actually next week.
Yes, next Thursday.
Nice. I think this one's coming out on Tuesday, this interview.
Sweet.
So
So you got time to come.
Yeah, you can come. Very cool. Okay. So your social medias and website. The website, themakeryvt.com. And it's the Makery, MAKERYVT.com. Just make sure that's very clear. And it's the same for your Instagram, the Makery VT.
Yes.
Yep.
And do you have a mailing list or any way for people to constantly stay in touch?
Yeah. At the bottom of our website is a link to join our mailing list, and we email out about once, twice a month. To let folks know about any of our upcoming classes, events, sales, just whatever is going on here.
Yeah, perfect. And once again, you are at 388 Pine Street in Burlington, Vermont. And you're kind of in the back corner, and the parking is on the right side, and you have some bright green signs that say the Makery. So you have dedicated parking, which is so nice in the city. Thank you both so much. This is such a cool space.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you all for listening, everybody. Check out the Makery. Cool spot.
Thanks so much for listening to the end of the show. Subscribe to Vermont Talks on your favorite podcasting platform. You can find me on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all over the web. Contact Becca at vermonttalks.com if you'd like to be interviewed or if you know someone who should be. Thanks so much to Jason Baker for creating the show music. The views and opinions expressed by the guests are those of the individuals and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Vermont Talks. Any content or statements provided by our guests are of their opinion and are not intended to malign any religion, ethnic group, club, organization, company, individual, anyone, or anything. And that's what was new in the 802. Have a great day.